Welcome back to the Fanspeak Network, another episode of Sibling Showdown, and today it is a SuperFlex Puppy. That's right, we're in the SuperFlex streets today where Sibling Showdown is going to be mixing it up, and why not draft with a 3-time SuperFlex Finalist from last year, my brother Steve, and we will get to that in just 1 minute. That's right. Happy almost Friday to everybody, and welcome back to Sibling Showdown. As I said, we are going to be mixing up our types of drafts in Sibling Showdown. And today we thought, since SuperFlex was out, yes, Andrew and Steve did one yesterday. You were on Who Hame's channel yesterday, but why not talk about it? Because you had 3 finals teams. Give us the stats for just one more time for that.
Yeah, so last year I did 85 total SuperFlex teams. I advanced in 29 of them, so 34% advance rate. And then I was able to push 3 to the finals, 2 SuperFlex Puppies and 1 SuperFlex Pomeranian last year.
Okay, and if you are a subscriber of the Fanspeak Best Ball subscription on Substack, we just put up Steve's article breaking down what he feels like are the most optimal strategies for SuperFlex. We'll touch on that quickly as we start. We'll touch on that, of course, throughout the draft, but highly recommend. That's why it's only $34.99. Scrolling across the bottom, link in the description, $34.99 a year, not a month, a year. And you get 3 to 4, usually at least 3 articles a week, several rankings. Steve, I'm assuming you're going to probably, if we think this one's going to be open for a while, right?
Yeah, probably a month to 5 weeks, something like that.
Okay, so maybe you'll get SuperFlex rankings up. We already have Eliminator rankings up. I've been a little under the weather this week, so I'll be hopefully getting Marathon rankings up by tomorrow. So Eliminator, Marathon, you've got SuperFlex incoming. Then we'll have Sprint. Then we'll have DraftKings. Then we'll have Drafters. So you have all the different rankings, and then the articles to put context to those rankings, because that's very important. Context is important. Let me say hi to the chat, and then we can chat more about SuperFlex and get in a draft. Mike Rob says, starting late, Meg will be on 2.5 speed. Absolutely. I was having some contact issues, so sorry about that. We got our guy Tim G in chat. Tyler Warren could produce 60% of what Bowers did last year. Will volume be there in Indy? Good question. Are there too many mouths to feed? Another good question. Steve, why don't you take that one and quickly, and then we'll get to the other folks in chat.
So from a target catch yard perspective, 60% might even be tough just because Bowers was like a receiver. But from a fantasy point perspective, I think it's actually very reasonable, and if not, more like 75% fantasy points, because Bowers had very low touchdown numbers, and Warren could easily exceed those by a fair margin, particularly with some of his short yardage rushing ability. He could be Indy's tush push guy, particularly if Anthony Richardson is not the quarterback. So you do have ways and outs. Warren just getting carries, like even if he gets 100 yards carrying, that's 10 points that, Bowers just isn't going to get you. So, I do think he can get to 60%, and even more so in terms of fantasy points. I wouldn't expect it to be done the same way the Bowers did it, but with touchdowns, it's very reasonable. And there are a lot of mouths to feed, but I think Warren, clearly, they have a plan with him. They would not draft him 14th overall.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Shane Steichen will be creative with them. I like it. Mega King, I just got in the one before. Dang, Gibbs, ARSB, Goff start. So a fun Lions stack. That is fun. Yeah, they're very fun. We've got Pat, Fantasy Dog Pan and IO. Good to see you, Pat. Always good to see you. Tim, a little shout out to the rankings. Again, link in the description if you'd like to get the rankings too, because many more are coming. SuperFlex, Marathon, Eliminator, DraftKings Drafters, all the good things. We appreciate hearing that you think the rankings are awesome and makes the draft much smoother. I appreciate that, Tim, and appreciate you. Hartman, GM, JT, Best Ball, GM. By the way, Hartman, check out his literally battle against Candyman last night. Just say it came down the wire and both were impressive. Hopefully Hartman will still be joining us because he put up a massive score. It was very fun. Check out Best Ball Jeopardy, of course, on the channel. It was fun. And next week's Best Ball Jeopardy, next Wednesday, is Emo Cowboy versus PPR Tyler. So that should be fun as well. Paul, we got Paul in chat. Always good to see you. Does Eddie Man really want to say that they won the Pomeranian? Well, the funny thing is, Steve and so our whole entire family, mom, dad, Steve, and I all had finals teams. Steve, of course, had what, 14, 15? I can't even keep
13 on Underdog, 3 on DraftKings.
Yeah, okay, 16 finals. But Steve and my mom were both in the SuperFlex Pomeranian finals. And yes, they use their kids' rankings and articles too. So you can too for the very low price of $34.99. That's hysterical though, Paul. Always good to see you, Stephen, WC, GM, everyone. We've got Fancy Dog always counting the likes, and we appreciate you. Number 10. So that's good to see. So if you want another draft, need 25. So appreciate that. Yeah, love it. People are liking the Jeopardy show. Hartman enjoyed it. Hopefully put up enough points to play again. I think you're definitely in the running for that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Kelly makes a great point. Candyman can do some math. I mean, both Hartman and Candyman's best ball knowledge was impressive. Each of them kind of dominated a couple categories, but Candyman's math and bi-week math was incredibly impressive. Okay, Steve, as I bring over Underdog, why don't you kind of give a general summary about what strategies we may be attacking in this draft?
Yeah, so SuperFlex, the two key differences are one, it replaces one of the wide receiver positions with a SuperFlex position. So theoretically, you could still start a receiver there, but as one would quickly see, that is suboptimal. Quarterbacks are your best option there, followed by running backs. And so that automatically changes how we're going to draft, what positions we're looking at, et cetera. And then the other thing is this is a 20-round draft. This is a 20-round draft, and so, but we're starting the same number of positions, so we actually can fill in some depth. It's not just about more depth for quarterback, but it allows us to maybe deprioritize a position like, say, wide receiver, and now we're only starting 2. And we can still take 7 or 8 shots at it, but with only starting 2, we feel much better than, say, a regular type of draft. So those are the key style differences. But then as you see, like, when we're doing a regular draft, the first quarterbacks go off the board around 30, Lamar and Josh Allen. By the time you get to pick 30, there's going to be 10 plus quarterbacks taken. Through the first 3 rounds, typically 15 quarterbacks are taken. It's just a completely different format. And as it should be, that's the correct way to be drafting. Quarterbacks are so key in terms of hitting your super flex. Even bad quarterbacks are going to hit your super flex. Like as bad as Will Levis was last year, he would have hit, he would have gotten over 15 points like 4 or 5 times. That's a lot, considering that the average only 6 wide receivers and 11 running backs averaged that for their seasons last year. So that just kind of goes to show what we're looking for and what we're expecting in these drafts in terms of points.
All right, I'm going to be entering a 20-second super flex. I put in the chat 20-second. If you want to join us, entering a 20-second in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Enter the 20-second puppy super flex. 5 more to go. I'll pull it up. Yeah, this is too good. Steve out there on every fantasy show like he's advertising a movie. Love to see it. We do love to see it. And he was joining Who Hames, who says, fam, check out Steve on Who Hames channel from yesterday. I learned a lot. I got in one of the drafts with you, so it was great. Oh, did you miss it or no? There's still, oh, no, yes, it is. Okay, not entering, but good luck. Okay, all right.
That's just how Nick joins the chats.
Oh, okay. Love to see it. Love to see it. Okay, it's pulling up. So I got a lot of slows going. Let me find it. Starting in 43 seconds. Here we go. I'm not check out Best Ball Overlay. I'm not going to log in today because I don't have the data or anything for that. And I haven't done that many yet. I'll start to after I listen to Steve's ball knowledge on this. Anyways, Steve, I need to, let me see, what pick number are we at?
We are 10.
Okay. Sorry, I'm loading Give me 1 second. All right. So who do you like to take as 10 spot? Talk while I figure something out.
So really, I think quarterbacks should kind of go 1 through 5, or at least top 4. Kind of through Burrow, I want a quarterback. Then I want running backs. I want quarterbacks and running backs. So in the first round, that's all I take. I get Jamar Chase is very tempting, and I think you can do like like an elite receiver, but then just kind of get away from the position. But overall, I think your best teams are going to be those starting quarterback or starting running back. Just the priority of those positions is so key overall. And so, at the 10th spot, probably top end running back or like a Baker Mayfield, if he's there, makes sense.
Okay, I was going to say, would you go? Is that the tier break, or would you? I know Burrow will go here shortly, and then would you, or would you take Baker here?
If it's Barkley, Bijan, Gibbs, I'm probably taking them. But if I'm choosing them between like McCaffrey or Genty, I'm probably taking Baker.
Okay, so I'll just queue up. So Jefferson goes. I queued up Barkley, Bijan, Gibbs, Baker. We're up in 1, so the world's our oyster here.
Yeah, so we could start with Baker, and then it looks like we'll probably get a running back on the way back, and I'd be good with that.
Unless do you think get a running back? Oh, because you think Baker will be. I get it. Okay,
yeah,
I got it. Okay, let's do that. And then, so then I assume you'd be fine with Genty or McCaffrey here too.
Genty and McCaffrey, even Henry, and but also other quarterbacks in play like Kyler, who just went. Bo Nix, these types of guys are
just a shout out, Eric Vineforth for Spike Week. We said a couple mentioned the Spike Week Vineforth spotting is at the we're back on the clock. Yeah, at the 3 spot, and we got Paul in with us. So Genty or McCaffrey, I kind of leave McCaffrey, but I'll do whatever you want to do.
McCaffrey.
All right, so we start 1-1. Similar to your strategy, it's going to be mostly quarterbacks and running backs here. So Baker, McCaffrey to start. Let me pull this over. So we have Eric Vineforth in the 3 spot. Paul Legion 13 at 6, and then we're at 10. Who Hames is at 11. All right, right next to us, Who Hames. I like that. Perfect. Let me pull up this one. Okay, Steve, talk about what you'll look for at the next turn. I need to do something really quick, and I'll be right back.
Yeah. So coming back with the next 2 picks, I think I'm generally, unless there's a crazy value at receiver, which right now doesn't necessarily look, I'm, interested in 1 or 2 guys, but I think they'll probably be off the board. They're kind of going right now. So the quarterbacks or back at running back, I think you could take 2 quarterbacks. I think you could take a quarterback and a running back, and feel really strong after 4 rounds to either have 3-1 or 2-2 to start.
Are you talking?
Yeah, no, I just finished talking.
Okay. I was like, I got back on it. I was like, what's going on?
So I said, ideally, you're getting 2 more quarterbacks here, or a quarterback and a running back here. Had a receiver like a Amon-Ra or Nico fall. Nico's still on the board. That'd be like the last one that I kind of look for at the 3rd, but I don't think he's lasting us coming back in the 3rd. I mean that, I just think there's a bit of a tier break there, and sure, if you potentially have a stack, like if you could have gotten like this team coming up taking if you'd taken Justin Herbert, I guess he's not off the board yet, and getting Ladd, that's one thing you could do. But outside of that, I think taking a quarterback and a running back is the most optimal, or 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, and like Who Hames said, or if you're doing volume, get the combos you want. It's okay to mix in different combos. Like Who Hames got Bijan Puka. That's fun. Is that a week 17 matchup too?
It is.
Okay.
And I also, my guess, we'll see with Huhames, but I'm guessing he's going to get right back to drafting quarterbacks.
Yeah, you did 2 of these drafts with him yesterday, but yeah, no,
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you're doing volume, yeah, sure, mix in like you said in the article, like a hero receiver or something like that.
Yeah.
But just
Yeah,
you're
hero
saying the
receiver
focus.
or hyper fragile, taking like 2 in the top 6 rounds but only taking 5. That sounds crazy, but that is a way that it could work.
Right. And then our guy Paul says, I had the big brain idea to treat CMC as my SuperFlex spot in a bunch of drafts last year. That worked out wonderfully. Hopefully it works out better for us because we just drafted him. We're in on CMC. We're back on the clock. You want to go Herbert here?
Yeah,
Top of the board
Herbert.
so Herbert fell back to us because that's right around ADP. So that's perfect. And then, I mean, do you think there's enough of a tier break or do we get the third here?
Let's see what these 4 picks do. Like if like 2 or 3 quarterbacks, I think at least 2 are going to be gone. But if like 3 or 4 quarterbacks Gilbert Arenas was not wrong just early.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
So I wouldn't mind getting another quarterback.
Okay, it does go quarterback. Though that does leave a little bit. We'll see what Huhames does. Well, actually, no, he goes Lawrence. He's smart again. I was gonna say it is a bit of a tier break here. Did you want to go Bucky? And it's team correlation, obviously.
Yeah, do Bucky. We can play this a little differently.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I kind of figured.
I mean, if Lawrence was there, I would have taken Lawrence. But you're saying you're generally fine saying, okay, you're kind of like throwing ADP out the window at some level when you're saying I really do want to have 3 quarterbacks, or are you fine like getting our 5th or 3rd quarterback in the 5th? I think in the article you wrote, which again I read it as I posted it today, that you said basically trying to get 3 through 5 is your ideal.
Yeah, because basically through 5 is going to be every start. And I mean, we're at the early 6, so maybe somebody falls back to there. We'll have to see. But basically through 5, every like legitimate starting quarterback. Sure, you might have some of the like Daniel Jones and Jackson Dart still out there in the 6th, 7th, 8th. Tyler Shuck, a few of those others, Aaron Rodgers, the ones that people don't know what to do with right now. Yeah. But those could end up being big zeros if we're wrong on them.
Sure.
So that's why especially right now, if they release another SuperFlex content, which I'm sure they will, considering this is over 4 times the size of the puppy last year, I wouldn't be surprised if there's just far more SuperFlex contests. There were only 4 different ones last year, and one was.
I was just about to ask. So there was the Pomeranian, the puppy, and then what else?
There's a SuperFlex Golden, so that was a single entry, and then a SuperFlex Pug, which was a 3 entry. So the Pomeranian, I believe, was a 50 max, and then a puppy was like your typical 150. It was much smaller. It was only like 60-some thousand.
Let me get to the chat really quick. Harvey says hit him with the gritty. It's been a strategy for years. That's why he said hit him with the gritty. Gilbert Arenas just early. Mike Rob saying we're treating these drafts like a swingers party. Yeah, it gives a lot of variety here, and that's what God loved underdog. I mean, and that's the other thing I will say though about these different formats is, I mean, I don't believe best ball. I think best ball is far from solved or anything like that. But I do think these type of formats, you may be able to find extra edge because again, there's not a lot of content for it.
Yeah, and look, I mean, I think people can try and look to win any way they can, but we're coming up here on Eric Bienfor's pick, and he got his 2nd quarterback, which good, but he's way behind at running back.
Yeah. Because he didn't take any yet. He took 3 receivers. Well, so JT Best Ball says some people have not adjusted. We'll see how many Bienfor takes in total. But some people have not adjusted, and we can take advantage of that. That's basically what we have been alluding to, and what I was basically just saying is, there's not a lot of content for it, rankings, all the things. So let's try to take advantage of people making mistakes, essentially. I saw someone earlier today take 2 receivers somewhat early. It still ended up with 9. LOL. Yeah, that's wrong. There are literally 2 starting spots, receiver. We really want our flex and our super flex to be quarterback or running back. Let me get to Huhames before we go to our pick. I'm taking a lot of Shaw Rattler together, 8-15 picks or something to lock a starter. I think that's totally fine. And then I'll get to the other chat in a minute. We are on the clock here. And okay, so Brees Hall.
I would take Stafford. Just take Stafford. Let's get done at quarterback.
What about Cam Ward? Do you like that better?
I like Stafford, and
really?
He doesn't have the same bye.
Oh,
yeah.
Ward doesn't have...
either would have worked, but I just think Stafford has just a higher upside in terms of consistency, like consistent.
Oh, you took Huhaim's stack. Look what you out here breaking up his stacks. That's bullshit.
For me, I wasn't even paying attention to that. I was just looking at Stafford. I think is going to be very consistent. Like I said, we're kind of targeting like 15 points as to be in a super flex, because you can't really expect a running back or receiver to exceed that repeatedly. And Stafford is going to be 15 points pretty much every single game. And with a lot of games in the world.
Okay, let's talk about top of the running back board. Unless you wanted to get on to receiver or tight end, because Kittle's there, Worthy, McMillan, Mixon, Harvey, Hampton.
Mixon or Harvey, I'd say.
Let's go young.
Yeah, I like Hampton a lot, but he is mixing in with Najee, and it just could take some time for him to take on the whole role.
Okay, so let me get to chat actually, and then I wanted to follow up on the Stafford thing, because I think you made a good point that I wasn't really thinking about. So to go back to Huhaim's point really quick, I think that's kind of interesting in this format. If you do just do too early and don't do what we did and took a third, then I think like double tapping like a room, I'm not going to do it all the time, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it, like a Colts receiver or quarterback room, the Saints quarterback room, the Giants quarterback room. Probably most likely, if you had to put money on it, it's probably very likely that we see both during the year. And then you're pretty much then, we hope, guaranteed that you'd have this, the starter in the playoffs, So I actually don't mind that strategy, because you go too early, and that's if you're getting too early that like full-fledged starters that you like we're talking 2 in the top 3 rounds, right?
Yeah.
And then you do like the 2 later in like what Huhaim says, like get the quarterback room. So that is interesting. Won't do it in like every draft, but certainly the ones I don't just get to, I might be interested in that. And like we could talk about at the end of the draft, but like when I was in the draft with you and Huhaim's, I took Mariota with the last pick. You and Huhaim's talked about it. Last pick of the draft, it was pick 239 239 because we're in the 20-round draft. And so, okay, it's the 20th round pick. Yeah, we're Washington fans. We hope JD stays healthy all year, but last year he stayed healthy. He still missed a game and a half. Like with the way he runs, if you get a Mariota situation, like we saw in the game and a half that JD didn't play, and that was through week 18. He can light it up in this offense, not light it up, but he can do well in this offense.
To the point, in the game that he came in for most of the game, Carolina game, he missed the first drive. And then came in, he had 19 fantasy points. In the half game that he came against Dallas at the end of the season, he had 24 fantasy points. So
yeah, you're not 24 in that half. Wow.
I think he ran for one.
That's right.
But the point, that's just the point. Like, you're not getting that kind of fantasy production from, I don't care what running back you're getting, what receiver you're getting, but particularly the guy who's not going to be your 1 or 2.
Right. Yeah, let's just talk about this really quick. Just to point this out, see, we're at pick 82, 7th round. The top of the board is Tyler Shuck. I can't say his name. Rogers, Wilson, Daniel Jones, Dart just went. So that's what we're talking about here. So we're not going there, obviously. I think like building like a hero receiver with like a DK Metcalf is pretty damn fun. What do you think about that?
I'm good with Metcalf.
We have 6 seconds to tell me something.
Yeah, let's do Metcalf, and then probably take a running back coming back.
Yeah. So then you have like 4 really, really solid ones. Okay. Well, I think that was smart, because likely Metcalf would have gone, and I like him a lot better than the other ones right there. Yeah. And as far as running backs, I like a lot of these guys. So I'll just cue them up. I like Junkins as a prospect. I just don't like the Browns. But there you go. We're going to get one of these guys. So boom. Okay. What are bye weeks here? We've got bye week 14, 9, 12. So no overlap yet. Pollard, Connor, go, Montgomery, Caleb Johnson. We could team correlate, or we could go just get a piece of Detroit. Any team stat?
Let's get a piece of Detroit.
Okay. I
It's
mean,
a
I
much
do love
better
Caleb.
offense.
I do love Caleb Johnson, but yes, that's a good point. Okay, let's get back to the chat because I think there were some good points made. So yeah, we touched on the whole like that can be an option with 2 quarterback early builds doing like a essentially handcuff situation. This is funny. No format can make character after RB or early. Stephen WC, this is his and Liam's strategy, at least on the drafts I saw. Okay, I guess Liam's doing that too. And then he took Gibbs the other day first, then a receiver. Yeah, Who Hames, we were very sorry. We apologize. That I blame Steve. That's what I was going to ask you really quick is with Stafford, I think I'm scarred by like, he offers nothing in the running game. So he literally needs like for a ceiling, like 4 touchdowns for a ceiling game. So you're fine in this format though, taking him as a third quarterback because he gives you more of a floor. Is that what you were basically saying? Okay. That's what I was trying to understand. And that is different than, I don't take a ton of Stafford, even though I like his receivers. So, but I think that makes a ton of sense, just the way you presented it. And that is important. Okay. So in a time box strategy, with someone like Will Howard, which is it too much of a stretch to go heavy on him in case it becomes a whole value of the contest? I know you can take Will.
I think it depends on what you're defining as going heavy. If you take like 2%, you do 100 teams and you take them twice, literally 2%. That's way more than most people. I mean,
that's true.
Typically undrafted, so that's going to be massive. I mean, if you're doing 100, then I maybe do more than that. Maybe do 5, 6, whatever. But my what I would look at it is, it's thin. I would only do it though in like 5 quarterback rooms or in a situation where you're also taking Rodgers also. So it's like some difference there.
The Rodgers Will Howard would be where I'd do it the most probably.
Yeah.
Because you're not, again, that's like, I wouldn't do Jaden Daniels Mariota because, if Jaden Daniels goes down, that's going to hurt bad. But in like those situations, I don't think it hurts as bad. So that makes sense. Okay. Paul wrote, and I missed the QB3 window. Okay. Where did Paul, is that the 5 spots of Burrow, Purdy, love that. And then he stacked up Burrow with Higgins, Purdy with Kittle. That's super fun. And then, so you missed probably around the Kittle pick. Then it became like that tier break.
I think you're probably hoping for Jackson Dart to come back or something.
Right. All right. So we'll be back up soon. Fantasy Dog says your assumption would be correct given the consecutive plays. We'll get to this question in a minute after we make these 2 picks. So we're up in 3, 4, 1, top of the board. I know Pearsall's dealing with something. Judy Pearsall, Jaden Reed, Brian Robinson, Matthew Golden. So we're in like a receiver window.
I'd still do Pearsall.
Even with the soft tissue, like he's not going to play for until training camp, they said.
That's fine, but that's missing nothing.
Yes. All right. Just wanted to check. All right. Do we just do our guy Scattaboo if he's there? Nope, he's gone. Who Hames? You were so smart. Look at it.
I would go for Mason.
Yeah. If he's gone, what do you want to do?
I'll probably go back to the receiver.
I mean, CMC, Bucky, RJ Harvey, Dave Montgomery. That feels good, but man, I like that pick. Who Hames? As you know, I heard you joking about on your stream today. I was just able to catch a minute of it when I think our guy Chad Candles talked about. We got Jordan Mason talked about going like in time box tournaments, like way overweight on a player, and I think that's fun. And he talked about Cam Scattaboo, obviously, and then obviously I think I was mentioned, which is a fair joke. So. Who Hames brought up a good point. Let me pull it up. Hartman brought up a point. Sorry. Not sure on the research list. Does QB have the lowest injury rate of any skill position? It would just be my gut assumption. And then Fantasy Dog said, your assumption would be correct given the consecutive games dominated with QBs. I know you talked about in your article. I mean, obviously we know some data on how many missed too, but what's your thoughts on those?
Yeah, so I think overall it's correct. I do think people generally don't realize how many games are missed by quarterbacks. Typically, between any year, it's between 7 and up to 12, but sometimes those are bench/injuries. of teams who don't have the same starter for, or have a starter miss at least 3 games. But no, if you're right and your guys are healthy and you have 3 like key starters, you're just such an advantage overall, because there are going to be some that either get injured or get benched. Last year we saw that not as much. Sometimes some were just shorter injuries, like Tua, who came back. Some were, and Bryce Young came back from benching, but we did have guys like Trevor Lawrence and Dak out for the rest of the year when they eventually went down. So, it varies year to year, of course, but I do think it is the least injured overall, just because if we did the study with running backs, receivers, tight ends, there's just so many who are out there, because we'd also be considering like number 2 running backs. Look at Washington last year. Both Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler missed at least 3 games. Yeah. So that's 2 guys on one team.
Yeah. All right, let me get to chat. But that answered the question very well. Steve, in fact, was not okay with Metcalf. We got Candyman in here, the winner of Jeopardy last night. Obviously, Hartman in here too, the Jeopardy matchup. I love to see it. This is hysterical. Who Hames to the, oh no, he stole Cam Scatterbo. He's making a statement. So thanks, Steve, for pissing off Who Hames. So they were joking. After that, is about to have next round of Jeopardy rigged after stealing Scatterbo. He's getting calculus questions. And then he follows up with worth it, which I totally get. So why did you go ahead and piss Who Hames off and get our Cam Scatterbo stolen, Steve?
Oh my.
Was it worth it for Stafford? I don't know if it was. Okay, so what stacks are we looking for here with Baker, with Herbert, with Stafford? We're coming up in 1. But I will throw out, like, I believe he's the starter if you just wanted to get a 4th here, but I don't know if you think that's too much.
Are you talking? I can't see.
Whoops. Yeah, I put Daniel Jones in, because we'll be back up, and there are.
Yeah, you know what? Let's do it.
Okay, because he's fallen a little too, and
you don't typically see him go in the 11th. Most drafts him in, I think he's gone through 10. So late 11th is
okay. So we have 2 stacks right here. So now we're stacking. We can stack Bucks, Chargers, Rams. Actually, I have a late idea for Rams and Daniel Jones. I just queued up Trey Harris, Michael Pittman. The start for us is 4, 5, 2. With this start with focus, okay, so Who Hames is out for you, Steve. What did you do?
It's that Michael Jordan quote. And then I took it personal.
So good.
But no, I know Who Hames loves Trey Harris, and I thought about that.
Yeah,
but I do like the guy in the 4th quarterback.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've got Mbuka here. I think is fun at pick 129 if Pittman goes. Who would you take between these 3?
I do it in that order: Pittman, Burden, and Mbuka.
Okay, so you want to go Pittman?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, there's Colts to stack later. There's not as many Bucks that could be active to stack later. I'll just make that point. But you just think we're going to get more points out of Michael Pittman? Yeah, especially as needing a 3rd receiver. I think that's important. So 5, 14, 11. We're good on bye weeks too. Literally didn't overlap anything in running back, receiver, or with the 4 quarterbacks. So looking really good there. Just while we're here, and I do want to get back to Chuck, I just want to kind of queue up, just keep an eye on some Bucks that we may be interested. Late round Chargers. I'm trying to think.
Got it.
Yeah, it's yucky. Could do Gadsden. Okay, so we have stacked up just the Colts. I mean, the Rams and Bucks have a couple interesting late pieces, but yeah, I just queued a few people just to keep an eye on things. Doesn't hurt.
And so this is another thing in bringing up tight ends, because we are looking at guys like a Tyler Conklin or the Rams, Ferguson, or something like that, is because of the 20 rounds, more tight ends are going to get drafted as well as more quarterbacks. So so that's a fair point. But so because more tight ends are being drafted, like we can, they're not going to be as rare as, say, in another draft. So it's fine us queuing these guys. We're not taking as big of a risk as, I guess, what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Taking a Tyler Conklin or something like that.
Yeah, and you talked about like the value of the positions, you know, in your article, like your value in quarterback and running back the most, and then receiver, and then tight end. You know, I mean, I'm honestly like that in regular drafts, but even more so now. Does that? Yeah, I mean, I did a couple. I'll have to see what I did. I did a couple builds last year, 4-6-6-4. I'll just see how those turned out. What was your build structure in your finals teams? Build structure, like numbers.
I think all three had 4 quarterbacks.
Okay.
2 of the 3 had 6 running backs. 1 had 5. And then it was 7 or 8 receivers, and all 3 had 3 tight ends. I did do some 4 tight end teams, but none of those made the finals. I didn't check if those are any of my advancing teams. They might have been, but all had 4 quarterbacks. Now I do think you can get away with, like, if we knock on Dan Jones, our 3 key starters.
Okay, we're on the clock. Shit, Warren just went right before us. I was hoping we'd sneak a Warren stack too. Okay, what about Jack Besh?
Jack Besh. I think this is a tier break at wide receiver.
Tier break at wide receiver. We need yes, we're only starting 2, but we still want to, you know, and that's why I was asking you numbers. We'll talk about more of that in a second. I say get if he's there, a Tampa stack through Rachaad White here, if it comes to us. Who Hames is probably still out for blood, thanks to you. Okay, Rachaad White.
Yep.
Okay, so 4-6-4-0. This is SuperFlex. It's different. Builder, you know, that's why we're talking it through here. But finish talking it through. So all of your 3 finals teams had 4 quarterbacks, and that's pretty interesting because that's in a year. And you and I did some marathon data research, which we'll be starting to do marathon shows and sprint and more eliminator, and we want to have the research behind that. But we found it very interesting. There was actually more 3 quarterback than 2 quarterback in the top 100, given that last year, you know, there was still, how many you had in the article, the number of starters that missed at least 3 games. How many starting quarterbacks missed at least 3 games last year?
I didn't go back and double count. I just said in the last couple of years, it's been between 7 and 12. So
7 and 12 have missed at least 3 games. Okay. But I mean, last year was less, that I think it was like 14 starters played all 17 games, whereas years prior it was like 8 or 9, you know? So that was a big difference. And yet still you know, advanced and had success with 4 SuperFlex, and still, you know, Marathon had, it was just slightly more, like 55-45% of the top 100 had 3 quarterbacks versus 2 quarterbacks. Obviously you could have success with 2 quarterbacks, but yeah, no, it was interesting because there were less quarterback injuries. Let me get to the chat really quick before we talk about our next picks. I mean, this is just too funny. Who Hames, you're doing the favor when Scatabo puts a restraining order on the Shout family. He's going to use their exposure to prove the point in court. So yeah, that's too good. Let's see. Yeah, I remember hearing Who Hames talk about Chrome on his stream the other day. Hartman, I had my players in the queue, but it only takes from the one source, I guess. Oh, okay. That's interesting. I didn't realize that, actually.
I've seen that before where it's frozen up on me and I've gone to my phone.
Yeah, Hartman say that's weird. I didn't know that. I didn't know that either. Okay, we'll get to Who Hames question or thoughts in a minute. We're going to be back up in a couple here. So we'll be back up at 178 and 183, 464. So what did you want to top of the tight end board? I mean, there's stuff before, you know, did you want to like double tap or did you want to double tap tight end, or did you want to get
let's double tap tight end.
Oh yeah, those receivers are gross. Okay. Then Hunter Henry or Mason Taylor. Pat Freiermuth was my favorite.
Hunter Henry, because Mason Taylor's the same buy as Kate Otten.
Oh, okay, got it. Hunter Henry. All right. So Kate Otten, Who Hames goes Mason Taylor, which I love. I mean, I just love. Who else are they throwing to there? You know.
Yeah, we really could have used somebody to take Kyle Pitts for us because nobody wants him.
Is he still on the board?
No, he just went.
Oh, okay. All right, so yeah, these are the players left stacked. So we do. Oh, I realized we already had a Bucky stack and we got Rashad White. My brain is not firing. I'm not feeling that great. So, oh well, we handcuffed our Tampa running back situation. Whatever. Do you still want to further, since we didn't get a Tampa receiver, get Kate Otten? Okay, great. All right, so with let's just look at this really quick on our break. 4-6-4-2 with our Tampa stack. We handcuffed the running back room. Whoops, I didn't even realize that. But Bucky and Rashad White. I mean, Rashad's White's late enough here that I'm not upset about that. And then Kate Otten, and then with Daniel Jones, we obviously have Pittman, and then nothing yet for Herbert or Stafford, I believe. So yeah, I'm sorry, but what, maybe I wasn't paying attention, or I was paying attention to chat. So I'm sorry if I wasn't paying attention to you, Steve. What were your numbers at the other positions? I know 4 quarterbacks, but what were your common numbers? Was it like 4, 6, 7?
5 or 6 running backs, 7 or 8 receivers, and 3 tight ends, I believe, on all 3. But I know I did some with 2, and that actually might be something we consider, just because our receivers are a little weaker. So we'll have to see. The way I would look at it is, for us, 17, 18, 19, I think we should go receiver in all 3. And then 20th round, we can decide if we want to tack on a 3rd tight end or an 8th receiver.
Yeah, no, that works for me. So you were very common. I imagine you, even though going running back heavy, you still did 6 running backs a lot. So didn't you say most of your finals teams was like 3, 6, 7, 3?
Yeah. The one had 5 running backs, but they were like,
or that didn't add up right. Would it be 3, 6, 8, 3 then?
3, 6, 8, 3. But I had 4 quarterbacks in all of them.
Oh, so. Okay. No, then it would be 4, 6, 7, 3. Yeah. Okay. So that was your more. I thought you said 4, 6, 7, 3 was a common.
For one, I did 4, 5, but my 5 running backs were 5 like starters.
Absolute starters. Yeah. So in this one with the running back capital, I'm assuming we're done at running back. So we're done at quarterback, done at running back, and like you said, just receiver, tight end. So that makes a ton of sense because we'll be back up here soon. All right. Huim says it would be way hard to advance through 2 1 of 10s and then have those 2 quarterbacks carry to the finals also. Which 2 quarterbacks? I might have missed that.
I think talking about only going like two starters or something like that. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So top of the ADP receiver board here, and then we will get back to chat. McMillan, Wan'Dale Robinson, Doubs, Pat Bryant, Hopkins. I mean, it's kind of a gross range.
Let's shoot for upside. Let's go Pat Bryant.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd say that. So, and we have RJ Harvey too. So just like, sometimes, yes, we like playoff correlation, but sometimes I lean team correlation. Did you want to go Terrence Ferguson here? Because I do think he's a fun one. And it's not like I feel like.
I don't know if we're going to take a 3rd tight end.
I don't think Henry and Otten feel.
Yeah. No, I would definitely be taking Atwell over Ferguson. We need help at wide receiver.
Well, neither. Okay, so you'd go Atwell here?
Atwell, or is Slayton still there? Nope. No. Let's go Atwell.
All right, so 4-6-6-2 now. So yeah, let me put this board up. So did you do any 4-6-6-4? Because I did a couple of those where then it was literally like the whole tight ends the last 4 of the last 5 rounds. Did you do any of those?
I'm pretty sure I did, but I didn't check to see of my 29 advancing teams what those breakouts were. I just looked at the 3 finals teams.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And
I go ahead and then
just to give perspective of the importance of having a quarterback hit your SuperFlex in the Puppy Finals. I went through and looked at, I believe it was the top 25 teams, at least 20, maybe 25, and all but one utilized 2 quarterbacks in their finals week. So you weren't getting to the top of the board unless you're utilizing 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of goes to show you the importance of that quarterback getting those 20+ points, hitting that SuperFlex spot.
Yeah, and that's why Huheim said just any two quarterback build seems very suboptimal in this.
Yeah. No,
So that to his point. So
I don't think it's really possible.
Okay, Disbanded Brotherhood. Great to see you. Huheim makes a great point. Even though we drafted, Bucky and White, 47 receptions. White had 51 receptions. It's fine. Was this from your draft yesterday? My 20th round pick is Steve's fault, or is this his upcoming thoughts? Maybe.
I'm guessing his upcoming thoughts.
I liked both of your guys' drafts yesterday. But yeah, no, I agree with that. Best ball call. Good to see you in here. Yeah, way too thin in a SuperFlex build. Definitely 3 min, 4 is fine. I mean, I've seen some people do 5 if they're throwing the late ones.
No, and 5 is if you only have like 2 kind of starters, and then it's like just taking. Then you just have to take shots to catch up. Like I don't know what Paul ended up doing, but like you do probably need to catch up, because even if you get a couple weeks out of them, like a Mac Jones last year. Mac Jones had 4 15-plus point weeks last year in 7 starts.
We're back on the clock in 1. I mean, Terrence Ferguson fell all the way back here. I find that interesting.
Yeah, we can. I think our receivers are okay.
I mean, we're tacking on a 7th, but I don't think it's not like any of these like I have to have. So I think we need a third tight end. Hunter Henry, K. Dotton. I mean, it's fine, but it's not like I think we need. I understand tight end is like the least valuable in this, but I did want to kind of wanted a third. Okay, so one more receiver, and then I'll get back to the chat.
I want to see what Huheim does with this 20th rounder.
Oh yeah, that's right. He says it's Steve's fault. Let's see. Is it Jaden? And then I'll queue up ones that I like.
Yeah, he took a Rams backup.
There you. Oh, it is Steve's fault. What about Roman Wilson? Oh no, we have whatchamacallit. Okay, say another name quick.
Take Ray McLeod.
Ew.
Take Ray McLeod.
Oh God. Well, at least it's a 20th round pick. Whew.
He had 600 receiving yards last year. The Falcons have done nothing to add to the receiver room. I think he's out there in 3 wide receiver sets. I think he's a fine 18th round pick in regular drafts and absolutely fine 20th round pick in these drafts.
Okay, Huheim, that was hysterical that you called your shot and got the Rams back up. If you take down the Puppy Superflex with Jimmy Garoppolo, you just have to thank Steve then for sniping.
But it is.
Okay, go ahead.
It is to the point that any backup, if they get time, Cooper Rush had 4 15-plus point games. Like you just go down the list. Like any backup is functional. And just going to score more than most running backs and receivers. So it's not a bad strategy to take a 4th or 5th quarterback late, even if they're unlikely to start, just because if you luck into it, it can pay off dramatically.
Okay.
That was yours yesterday.
Yeah. Sorry, let me refresh. While we're doing that, our guy Chad Candles is in the chat. GMG, I'm loving the SuperFlex content. Thank you very much. Obviously, if you're not tuned into Chad Candles, you need to get him to 100 subs. He needs it. He's the morning drafter. Catch him in the mornings, have some coffee, draft with Chad Candles. Good to see you in here. And I love the SuperFlex as well. I got to start ramping up because this was only my 2nd one. So we got to start getting more down. Tim loved the Rashad White Atwell pick. Hart says, so you're saying there's a chance if my RBs are good enough? Yeah, I mean, honestly, you and I had some teams last year where we just absolutely dominated the running back room. And if you looked at some of our other rooms, you'd be kind of grossed out. But yeah, half-point PPR, God's game. You got to love it. Let's see. We'll have to take a quick peek. I will only do a quick recap because we got to see. Actually, 19 likes. I'm going to be a hard ass. I'm not feeling good. We need 25 likes. So as we review these teams, we have 18 likes. Just got to 19. You have as we review these teams, if we get to 25 likes, we do a pug. If we don't, I can try to make my headache better. Okay, we'll look at Bind Force team with Pickett with all the Belichick stuff coming out. Mac Jones definitely got the shaft as far as coaching. Is he still back up in? No, he's back up in 40 or San Francisco now.
Yeah.
Okay, Paul said I ended up taking Russ as my third with Neighbors. I hate it.
But I mean, you know, you're going to get some weeks. I mean, whether it's 5 weeks, whether it's 10 weeks, you're getting some time with Russ, I believe. So I think Russ has a lot of value in this format.
Thank you, Omega King. We appreciate it. We're at 23, so we'll go through a couple. If someone wants to log on to something else or tell a friend, while you're telling a friend, tell them, make sure they're subscribed. See, headache. Subscribed to the Fanspeak Network, road to 1,000 subs. We'll do a 24-hour live stream when we get there. Hit that bell notification. We have live drafts every single weekday, Best Ball Jeopardy on most Wednesday nights, and plenty of other live drafts every single day of the week. So help us get there. And while we're doing housekeeping, of course, link in the description for the Best Ball sub chat. Wow. I mean, I can't talk. Best Ball Substack, our Best Ball subscription is $34.99 a year. So as Chad Candles agrees with me, man, that Ray McLeod is a tough click. Thank you. Thank you, Chad Candles. I agree. Mike Robb says God's name is IDP. I've never done that. Have you? I assume you have, Steve, right?
Yeah.
All right, there it is. Okay, let's take a look at what we did. We'll make this super quick because we talked about ours the whole way. 4, 6, 7, 3. Definitely stacked up Baker, did not stack Herbert, stacked up Stafford with 2, stacked up Daniel Jones with Pittman, prioritized quarterback and running back. So then our running backs are McCaffrey, Bucky, RJ Harvey, David Montgomery, Jordan Mason, Rachaad White. That's like pretty much not any real contingent guys. Even Rachaad White to the handcuff is going to get his own standalone work. So I absolutely love that running back room. And I think we can get 2 starters out of this receiver room with 7. DK Metcalf, Ricky Pearsall, Michael Pittman Jr., Jack Besh, Pat Bryant, Tutu Atwell, Ray McLeod. That part was disgusting, but that's okay. Hunter Henry, Kate Otten, Terrence Ferguson. I didn't even pay attention because, again, the brain isn't as sharp today if we got many run backs in this one. Because, again, I didn't log in my data, but that's where we would have seen the Best Ball Overlay. Yeah. So bestballoverlay.com. Use code Fanspeak. I'm giving a lot of housekeeping notes for 25% off or $10 off a month for just $30 a month. And let me tell you, they got some great, I peeked behind the curtain of what they've got on their website where you can track all your exposures. Insane stuff. So bestballoverlay.com. I should have logged in to see because you can see your exposures, but you can also see the stacks and the bringbacks and all that stuff. So let's check out the other people.
Ray McLeod is a bringback to Matt Stafford.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. Let's check out buying for, okay, so going late, he did, he's doing the 0 RB for this format. So he went 3, 8, 6, 3. And so Hurts, Bryce Young. Oh, that's interesting. Hurts, Bryce Young, and then Kenny Pickett is the third. Kenny Pickett, I'd be fine as like a 4th, but okay. Joe Mixon, Jalen Warren, Najee, Spears, Tank Bigsby, Rico Dow, Woody Marks, Jordan James. Did he do any handcuff rooms there? Yeah, he did. Mixon, Woody Marks, and
that's it. He didn't take any starters. He took 1 starter, Joe Mixon.
Right. I mean, some people would consider Jalen Warren a starter.
Yeah, Warren and Harris might get enough functional weeks, but
right. Okay. Let's check out
6 receivers, but 5 were really high.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. BTJ, AJ Brown, Tyreek Hill, Tet, Chris Godwin. In this format, getting 5 in the first 94 is high in this format. We're not trashing. We're just talking it through, interesting, different strategies, different strokes for different folks. We got our guy, Paul, 3773, Burrow, Purdy, Russ Wilson. I mean, listen, Russ Wilson could still get plenty of starts. I get why you'd want a 4th though, or someone different, but I totally get it. But look at Kyron, Chuba, Quinshon, Charbonnet. That feels like a nice 4 running backs, and then still tacked on Braylon Allen, Ollie Gordon, a little Phil Maffa, Dallas correlation.
There are some reports that Maffa and Blue were being utilized the same.
That's interesting. Yeah. And talk about low owned in a time box. These low owned clicks in time box are fun. So I like that. That's fun. Neighbors, Higgins, Rashad Bateman, Burden. He's got your guy Thielen here. Alec Pierce, Keenan Allen, George Kittle, Sam Laporta, Isaiah Likely. So definitely really nicely stacked up both Burrow and Purdy. and Giant and Russ with Neighbors. So yeah, I like this team. It's fun. Paul, thank you so much for joining us in chat. Any thoughts on his team, Steve, before I go to who?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's your top two quarterbacks are really good. I mean,
yeah, I mean, they're
two top 12 quarterbacks, including Burrow, who, as we've seen, can just totally dominate. And yeah, you're probably going to need Russ to start, at least half the games to feel good. But I think it's a strong team because the running backs, and you went 2 early receivers and then just a bunch of late guys to like fill in. So yeah, I think that's the way you approach receiver if you're taking guys early. You don't keep doing it.
Right. Absolutely. So our guy Who Hames, since Steve sniped him with the Stafford pick, no, he goes 5-6-6-3. I like a little the symmetry there. But Stroud, Lawrence, and then gets Ward, and then some upside swings with Milrow, and then Jimmy Garoppolo like a handcuff. I mean, I took Mariota as my 4th in yesterday. So that's a fun. I mean, this is where you need he got 2 very quality ones in the 3rd and 4th round. And then Ward is a solid. So he has 3 starters, and then he's got 2 upside swings. I think that's fun. And then, of course, attacked running back Bijan, Breece Hall, Alvin Kamara, Tony Pollard, 5 starters, Cam Scatterbo, and then tacked on J.K. Dobbins. Absolutely love your quarterback and running back situations. Who Hames, that's so fun. He did like the kind of anchor receiver build. Yep. Which I know you talked about in the article. Check out on Substack. Puka, Jerry Jeudy, Trey Harris, Ayuk, Wendell Robinson, Michael Wilson, and then Tucker Kraft, Mason Taylor, and Tyler Higbee. Yeah, that's a fun team. Again, when you're prioritizing quarterback and running back, you absolutely did it right, Who Hames. Well, I hope it's certainly 2 out of the 3 of us that were in this draft that moves on in this one. Let's see. We've got how many did we get here? 27. So I guess we're running a quick pug. Steve, you guys did it. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. I was being strict. So let's do a 20-second. Actually, I'm going to do it from my phone because I don't trust
logging. Are you doing 20 or 30 seconds?
20.
Okay.
We're keeping it moving. I got a headache. 20-second pug. I need to get 2 more down. I mean, it's only 27% full, but I've wanted to do one with my brother. We have a great advance rate together, Steve. So let's do it. So we're doing the 20-second pug. The 20-second pug. If you want to join us, I'm doing the 20-second pug in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Enter. We're in the 20-second pug with 6 more to go. So plenty of time to get in if you'd like to join us in this pug for now. Bringing it over, waiting on 4. All right. So
now we need to reset our minds away from SuperFlex.
Yeah.
Away from the Gilbert Arenas, hit him with a gritty strategy, and back to.
Thank you, Paul and Who Hames, for joining us in the draft. Thank you, everybody, to joining us on the stream, in the chat. We certainly appreciate you hitting that like button, getting us to our like goal. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that sub button and the notification bell too. Lots of fun stuff coming this summer. Just waiting for 2. So not bad here. Here, I'll log on. Give me 1 second. I'm going to do.
So yeah, while you're doing that, as everyone I'm sure is aware, they released both the Pug and the Hound Dog, 2 very good, relatively lower dollar, Pug $12, Hound Dog $6 contest. Small, Pug 3 max, Hound Dog 5 max, but really strong advance rates. And I think that these are the types of tournaments that, if you want to be profitable, can go a long way to doing that, because your chance, you don't have that 7-figure or even 6-figure hit in these contests, but to get 20K, 40K, even some of the second through 5th place prizes, the ROI is incredible, and it can just be a great way to build your bankroll up and to be profitable in the year. So big fan. This is one of the things that Underdog does so well, is these kind of good advance rate contests. And I think that's something that separates them from the other sites.
Absolutely. Let me go chat real quick. Appreciate this, Best Ball and Call. Good to see you. Lots of good content to sub on this channel. Appreciate it. Always good to see CBK. Would love to draft you all, but I maxed. And yeah, Paul, and always a good time. Thank you. did the SuperFlex article come out today? I looked for it. It came out like at 8 o'clock, right before we went live. So yes, 8 o'clock. It is now up. So check out Steve's SuperFlex article, breaking it all down. Okay, so we have Omega King at the 2 spot. Huron River Rat that's Jason Calhoun, I believe, at the 4. And then we are at the 9. Okay. I need to make these 2 picks and then grab something. We will do that. Up at 9, top of the board, Genty, McCaffrey, Neighbors, Nico. Fine with any of them, or point anybody else up that you would like to do, Steve.
Yeah, I would probably do either McCaffrey or Neighbors.
Yeah, McCaffrey, I mean, excuse me, I've moved McCaffrey up in my rankings. I believe Steve's going to be moving him up in his as well. So you want to go McCaffrey or Neighbors? I have the exact same of each. So
yeah, let's do McCaffrey.
Yeah. But looking around the industry, he's now firmly ranked in around 8 through 10. So he's going to go 8 through 10, basically. Yeah. So he's going to firmly go here. So if you want him, you gotta grab him. Ideally, one of the receiver. Well, no, they all go. I was going to say, or we could take London. I mean, I don't mind, but I have done other types of like double anchors with McCaffrey. So it'd be nice if London came back. But if not, where do you want to go?
I'd probably do McConkey. I have him over AJ Brown, similar to you, and London.
Okay, London comes back, so that's fun. Okay, let me pull this up here. Okay, Steve, talk about anything else your heart desires. Oh yeah, we got Jason Calhoun in here. Thank you. Good luck to you as well. Yes, they are awesome. Some no, I recently switched to UD after drafting them in DK. Wish I would have years ago. CBK, do you max slows? Steve's a big slows guy, so I think CBK is too. I'm pretty sure. Hardman says I avoid SuperFlex lobbies with you guys like the plague. So that's, okay, I need to check on something, but think about what you want to do with our next 2 picks.
Yeah, and so far it looks like, JSN. I was just going to say this draft is pretty chalk. And then JSN goes off the board. I think that's a little early for JSN, in my opinion. But, I get it. There's, receivers in this range are kind of bunched up, and no one's really separated in my book outside T. Higgins, who went right after him. But, yeah, just talking about these contests, I think we're going to get more and more of these as we see with Underdog. They did way more last year, and I think we're likely to see that considered going forward. And I think they're fun. They're just a good way to get more profitable. And I think also some people, like in the BBM or puppies, because of the crazy advance rates, I think it can make some sense to go a little wild, a little crazy, do some things that maybe aren't the most best EV, because if you draft like your right sort of thing. But these kind of contests with the better advance rates, I do recommend being a little safer in your approach, because I think it'll pay off more since it's not as hard to advance round by round.
All right, we are back on the clock. You want to go Adams, or did you want to go a different direction?
I would go Adams, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I have 20. I mean, I only have like 20 some finished. So I just speaking of slows, I just put in my slows for the Hound Dog to make sure I get those. I am going to be all these like single entry, 3 max, 5 max, 10 max, 20 max, under 101. I'll be getting down all action on all those. So yeah, I think I just have the 1 pug so far. This will be the second. I'll do the 3rd fast, but I put in the 5 slows. So I'm team slow for like a lot of these time box tournaments. I mean, I know you pretty much are too, outside of our draft.
Yeah. Now the pug is fast only 20 or 30 seconds.
Right.
So you don't
That's
have
right.
a choice. But yeah, I did two 2 slows for Hound Dog, and I ended up doing 3 drafts fast last night, including multi-tabling on Candyman's stream with Candyman.
Oh, nice.
Because I got in and I was with Nick in the first one. Well, the first one we all did together, and then when it went to launch the second one, Nick and I jumped in before them.
Oh, nice. We're up. Worthy, Hunter, DJ Moore. Let's see. We do have DJ Moore. I will say, if you want, I mean, there's a lot of other Chicago runbacks to San Francisco.
Let's go DJ Moore, though. I'm a little lower on Moore.
But, I don't have him.
When you have a run back, when it makes a little bit more sense.
And it's at his ADP, so it's not like you're reaching for it.
Yeah, we're not reaching.
And I have 31% Travis Hunter. I had logged in to my marathon exposures when I did the draft with PPR Tyler on Friday, Friends of Best Ball. By the way, this week, you just mentioned Candyman. Candyman is my Friends of Best Ball guest, 9:30 Eastern tomorrow night. Candyman will be joining me, Friends of Best Ball, 9:30 Eastern tomorrow. Excuse me, with my PPR Tyler, Friends of Best Ball last Friday. I had put my marathon exposure, and he was like, wait, you have 81% Travis Hunter? And it's because I only had 5 or 6 completed, and I had him 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 6. I can't do math, but I was like, whoops, no. I was like, I know I don't have 81%. I love him, but.
So, chat, who do you think files the restraining order first, Cam Scadaboo or Travis Hunter?
It's one of the two. It's definitely one of the two. Drake May would be the third.
Yeah.
No, I swear it's not Uber Eats. I had to grab something. Harvard says, got to fake out Steve, but I always love Mike Rob's chat. I think his best one tonight was the threatening of the Cam Scadaboo restraining order. That was the classic.
Well, now Travis Hunter might be there also.
Oh, I know. But I swear I had my marathon exposure up. And 6 done. Got to fake out Steve. So he has to multi-table. It's the only plus easy way to draft against him. Travis Hunter from his fiance. Oh yeah, that's hysterical.
Well, now wife, they got married. So.
Oh, they did get married already. Yeah. Okay.
I think over this past weekend.
Okay, so up at 57, Ridley, Pickens, Kenneth Walker. This is obviously a running back range I like too. So,
yeah, but let's do Walker. Pickens.
What?
I was going to say Pickens. You only have 5%. So.
Yeah, that's true. No, I like getting more Pickens.
And oh shit.
What?
He's got. I didn't realize London and Moore they all have the same buy. Oh no, Pickens is on Dallas now. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I still have the Steelers mindset.
Wait. Steelers has week 5 bye?
Yeah.
See, I would not do well at bye week math on Jeopardy. I would stink at bye week math. I have not, because I use the, it's in the back end, but I don't have my bye weeks memorized yet. It's not good. Do you have them pretty much memorized? Would you crush bye week math?
Yeah, no, last year when I did it, that's where I really dominated spread in the Jeopardy was bye week math.
Yeah. So up at 64, top of the board, Addison, Jennings, Rome. We already have DJ Moore, so I don't think we need to force that, though. Obviously, I like both those quarterbacks in that week 17 matchup. Caleb Johnson, David Montgomery, James Conner. He goes Judy. You want to go Caleb Johnson since we didn't get him in our last draft? Yeah, this is based on my rankings, but he's not going to come back to us. So do you want to go Caleb Johnson, or based on ADP, would you rather go like Henderson or Connor?
Henderson.
Oh, we're mixing it up here.
I think it's, though he does have the same buy as Christian McCaffrey, but
yes, he does.
We're gonna get more guys.
Well, now we can't take Cam Scadaboo because he has week 14 too. So you've just boxed us out of Cam Scadaboo.
Oh my.
Let's see. Wait. So she filed a restraint. Wait, what?
No, saying that she's going to file a restraining order.
Oh, yeah. Poor Travis. Hunter game played in the public. By now has a wife to drop him in the rankings, right, Steve? Oh my God. Okay. Who Hames? So the next round, he has all the bye weeks memorized now. He's ready to go. Oh yeah, his dreams of fishing. You told me about that. Was it a Sports Illustrated article or something?
Yeah.
On Hunter. Video. Henderson, what a ball knower. Yeah, I didn't have much Henderson, so that was good to get, got to mix it up. Got to mix it up. By week math and ADPs might be all I know. Don't ask me where anyone went to college or the names of their goldfish. I love it. Good to see you, coolers. Yeah, who doesn't have a wife is Stefan Diggs. Holy cow. Oh my goodness, the boat video. So wait, what's the deal with I know he wasn't like at practice and that kind of stuff, but like, was that a BS article about like the week 4 thing?
Yeah, if you look at it, it was not based on any real information. It was not based on, you didn't say talking to his doctors, talking to Diggs, talking to the team, any of that. He was just like throwing out best case scenarios for guys like him and Kyle Williams. And he just mentioned these, week 4, and it's just totally random. Like he just poured it out in the air. So
there's been nobody else supporting that?
No, in fact, there's a report on Underdog talking about how he looked at practice, like actually physically playing. So.
Oh, okay. Did you want to go Pollard here?
Yeah, I think that's a good third running back, particularly taking one now with our top 2 having the same bye.
I mean, I have him ranked above ADP, but he fell a little too. So,
yeah.
So we're up in 6, 0, 3, 4, like that start. So, I mean, top of my rankings are Diggs, Golden, Hawkinson, Swift, Mooney. We're getting into the range of quarterbacks, so like just to keep an eye, obviously Penix and Stafford are later, but we have Caleb, we have Purdy. You can get Purdy CMC.
I think one of those will come back to us.
Yeah, no, we're at 89, so don't go there. So down, so ADP Mooney.
Yeah.
Mooney. So you're fine double stack. You want a double stack?
Yeah, I do. I wouldn't mind getting Penix as like our second or third.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's a fun offense. I think it's very condensed. And yes, Ray McLeod is draftable. But it's a very condensed offense, and especially, I mean, if Kyle Pitts doesn't take the next step, then it's just more for London, Mooney, and Ray McLeod.
That is true.
I'm trying to say Ray McLeod as many times as possible this draft.
No, please don't. I want people to follow us. Oh my. Yeah, Stefan Diggs, it's never slow news with him for sure. Okay, yeah, Rotoballer, it was one of the ones that published, but wasn't it an athletic article?
An athletic article, but again, the Rotoballer, I think, is at his point, they didn't add the context. Like you read the article, nobody would walk away there thinking, oh yeah, definitely 4 weeks.
Yeah.
It's just like total speculation.
So yeah, Rotoballer are notorious for clickbait. God, I hate those clickbait. Like what are those like Rookie Watch and ML Football and those kind of crap Twitter?
So it's that's the point is, and that's what old Roto World used to be so good at, is they'd offer context.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Who Hames is with you. He's on Ray as well. Yep. So I think you and Who Hames are both super sharp. So I got to respect it. So quarterbacks that went after us, but we do have quarterbacks that we could potentially look at later as well. Were Kyler, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Fields. Jason's on the clock now. Omega King got Justin Fields. That's fun. They are in the 9th round. We last week wrote about how this quarterback window, like hitting 3 in this quarterback window, is really fun. So we'll be up at 105, 112. Could have a potential to get one, definitely 1, if not 2. So how did you want to handle it here, Steve? Especially starting 0-3-5.
If Caleb doesn't go here, yeah, I'd take Caleb.
Okay. That's a little value on it too. Up in 6 at 112. If Purdy's there, would you take him? I know people have mentioned them. What's that?
I would double tap it if Purdy's there, because we are going to take a third.
Yeah. And starting 0-3-5, like I know we've talked about like getting a 4th here. Like you could look like, Tootin or Charbonnet or, someone like that in that range. But like, I love getting like a double tapping quarterback in this area and like 3 again in that sweet spot of the 8 through 14, round 14, which Penix is obviously one going still in that window. as well. So, yeah, I mean, obviously we're just correlated with McCaffrey, but that's the type of offense where you're like, I have all the touchdown equity of the 49ers.
Yeah.
Mostly, basically.
Exactly. And I think this offense is going to take a big step back in the right direction this year. And San Francisco, as we talked about before, they won the easiest schedules all year.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think it is fun. And I know some people get worried about having both quarterbacks in a Week 17 game stack. And sure, if that game goes bad, you're in trouble. I do think we are taking the third. So we have at least one out.
I was going to say, I've heard people talk about it in the industry last 2 years, honestly, and I've never had a problem with it. And it's for the reason that you and I draft a third quarterback, and especially waiting till whatever, around 9 and 10 to draft our quarterbacks. Like, we're drafting 3 quarterbacks, so then we have another quarterback out if
exactly
if that game goes sour.
And also, like, what if that game goes well? Look at last year, the Lions, San Francisco. Both quarterbacks were really good. Denver, Bengals. Like, if you had taken Bo Nix, don't you still want Joe Burrow because Joe Burrow gets more points? Like, sometimes these games really go well and both sides get it. I get that's not the case all the time. Like, Jaden Daniels was way better than Penix, Lamar way better than Stroud, etc. But I just think it can definitely work out. And just in general, we like these quarterbacks throughout the year. We're not getting them solely just because it's like a Week 17 correlation.
Yeah. Mike Robb says, Steve's a smart guy, but every time he drafts Daniel Jones, I grab my rosary, say a prayer for his soul to be released by the demons. I'm on team Daniel Jones too. I just think those guys need to keep their job. And unless like the VR virtual reality or working with Josh Allen proves to be a miracle for Anthony Richardson, there is no way he's starting like most of the season, or especially the end of the season when they're trying to save their jobs. But
I do get it. I mean, at the end of the day, we're still talking about Daniel Jones.
Oh, I know. Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. Jay, if I get one of the top 4, I generally go 2. Other than that, lean 3. Yeah, no, that makes sense too, for sure. Okay, so we're up at 129. We, especially a double stack, we can obviously push Penix. So any interest in Tootin with him falling?
Yeah, let's do Tootin. I think it's good value.
Yeah.
Look, it's an unknown situation, but we love the potential of the Jags offense. So if you get it right, you could hit a home run.
Yeah. And there is some other, they play Indy. If you want to do like tack on an Alec Pierce or something, you can get some correlation. So what's our correlation? So they play each other, and then Penix and Falcons play Cardinals, Rams. And again, this is the benefit of Best Ball Overlay. Again, use code Fanspeak, bestballoverlay.com for $10 off a month. Okay, we're back up at 136. I assume we could probably because then we'll be back up at 153. Did you want to push it? Because there are.
We can push because we could take Stafford also as a better quarterback.
Looking at ADP, I don't love the receivers there because I don't.
I'd say get a tight end. And is Goddard gone?
He must
be. Goddard or Ferguson? And
I'm spelling his name wrong. No, he's not. That's right around his ADP too.
Yeah, Ferguson would be the other one, I think. And, there'd be a little fall on Njoku, so we could take him, for some value.
Okay, Goddard or Ferguson, what do either correlate to our playoff schedules here?
No, Njoku would, but Goddard is actually Ferguson's team correlation with Pickens if we want to do that.
Yeah, let's do that. I like that. Okay. So we start 2, 4, 5, 1. Always, that's kind of some of my favorite starts to feel kind of balanced. Hopefully, Penix falls back to us with the double stack. If he doesn't, we have backup options to get our third quarterback in the 13th or 14th round. So I think that is fine. I like the way this draft's unfolding. Kind of getting some different players too.
Yeah, and because we could stop at 2 tight ends, we could That's also an option. Like there's just different ways we can approach this, which I like. I like having when you have optionality. If we feel we need 8 receivers or 6 running backs, something we'll be able to do that. But yeah, no, the Colts situation is
that's good. That's good, Omega King. Steve, did you draft on RTS Sports Superflex?
I did 1 year.
Yeah, that's on FPPC.
No. It's a different thing, but I did years ago.
Okay.
Boy.
Mike Robb says, didn't the Giants coaches try to get rid of Daniel Jones to save their jobs too? I don't know. Maybe Steichen is kind of like the whole like Baker to Tampa, Darnold to Seattle. I'm going with it. I'm running my own narrative here. It worked for me on the Darnold thing last year. I could be totally wrong.
The fact of the matter, the fact of the matter is, no quarterback can survive a 50% success, 50% completion rate. And with all they have invested in their pass catchers, they're all second rounders, or third for downs, and a first for Warren. Like they need to pay off.
Wow. Wait. So this is now. How do you feel about 2 by week 14s? Because
let's wait and get Stafford.
Stafford later. What else do we have? Any other stacks?
We could take Ward. With
Cam Ward. Yeah. Okay. True. Do you want to do Ward here, or do you want to take another position here? Like
another position, but fine. Let's go to Gesicki. It's time's up.
Yeah. I mean, I'm never mad about getting a Cincinnati Bengal like in the
and like round. I said, we could only go 2 tight ends with Ferg and Gesicki. So never mind, we do the same buy.
That's fine. No, I think this can still be a 3-5-7-3.
Yeah, and let's just take the quarterback here.
Yeah, let's get the quarterback here. Yeah, we passed on Bryce Young because we had Purdy week 14. So I mean, I've done that before, but I try to avoid it. But it is basically like doing in a 2 quarterback room. If your guy's on bye and the other guy's hurt, you're screwed that week. So, I try to avoid it, but if I really like the stack or really like it, I do it. Okay, so Ward goes. Do you want to just take Stafford here because he's not coming back?
Yep. So now we have 2 strong week 17 stacks, the Chicago San Francisco and the Atlanta Rams stack.
Because that's a good point. We got sniped on Penix. So where did Penix go? Okay, so he went at the turn. And then Huhames mentioned that Jalen Hurts. Okay, Jalen Hurts got. Maybe he meant in another draft. He saw.
Yeah, he said in 50. A random pug room.
In a random pug room. Got it. No, I like a good team, and Huron River Rat. We'll look at those quickly after. But yeah, Penix went at the turn with Kyle Pitts, so that's fine. We had backup options, and I am totally fine with Stafford. Like you said, we get sniped on Penix, but we have 2 Falcons receivers, and then Stafford Devontae. So that feels good.
I agree.
All right, so we'll be back up at 177, 184. I hadn't even heard of RTS Sports.
Yeah, no, I don't even know if they're still around. They were.
But thank you for joining us, Mr. Grapefruit. And Tim D, always good to see him. He said it was a nice website with mid-comp. I hadn't heard of it. Joe Burrow's going to have to throw so many damn passes this year. Who means I don't want to ruin my limited entries with other sharp people. Oh, thank you. That's a good point, though, actually. On these, there's going to be plenty of single entries. This is a 3-entry max. There's going to be 5-entry, 10-entry, 20-entry max. I agree. Especially the single entry, 3-entry max. I get it. I totally get that you want to kind of maybe on the fast, choose a late night draft and look for some EV there, especially. Omega King, it's an older site like Drafters. Okay, gotcha. I like Drafters too. I called it God's game earlier, but I just love the half-point PPR. So that's why I do more of the marathon than I do Drafters, but I like Drafters. Okay, so 177. God bless the 20-second clocks. We're flying through this here. 3, 4, 5, 2. There are some tight ends I like. Now this is on my rankings based on ADP. Noel, Dow, Wright, Michael Wilson, Shipley, Mason Taylor, 10 seconds. So, but
let's take
quickly.
Sure, let's just reach for a tight end. I'm fine with that. We need a different buy.
We needed a different buy. Please say he has a different buy. Okay, he does. Yeah. Okay, so we'll be back up. I have Slayton queued. I have him ranked way above ADP, so he's probably there. Unless you wanted to grab like a Dobbins or something like that. Nope, he goes.
We could mix it up, take like a Hill or something like that.
Take who?
Justice Hill.
Oh, yes. We have, I mean, we've got some actually correlation with Baltimore. We have, I believe 15 is Cincinnati, 16 is New England. So there's some pieces there. Gotta love those skinny stacks. You know, that's nice. So we're done at tight end, done at running back, done at quarterback, done at running back, done at tight end, tacking on 2 receivers. Because we did draft London, Adams, DJ Moore, Pickens, like 4 receivers in what, the top 6 or 7 rounds, I guess.
Yeah, our 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th round picks were all receiver.
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, 4 in that. So yeah. So I'm fine, with a 3-5-7-3 with this one. Just tacking on 2 receivers. I know we've talked about this before. Well, let me get to the chat real quick, and then got 2 of 3 Saquon Pugs. That is also fun. I mean, Hames made a good point about like watching exposures in like, you know, these stream rooms and stuff like that, kind of picking your spots on these single entry 3 max. But another good point is like, you know, if you want to, and Chad Candles mentioned it in, I believe, I can't remember if it was Hames chat or, but a chat today that he just goes, it was Hames chat joking about Scatterboo. Like you could go heavy on somebody. Like if you get a certain position, you can just kind of go push all your chips in on somebody. And of course, the time box tournament, I love talking about this. I had an article a couple weeks ago talking about time box tournament, late round clicks. These are these time box tournament, late round clicks, 17th, 18th round. You don't want to do it like for like 4 rounds, but in like 2 rounds, if you 1 or 2 rounds, if you want to get weird and take a pick that you just believe, like a Restrepo or who's the one I'm obsessed with that didn't work out for me, like Roman Wilson or something like that. They're going to be super low owned, especially since this will fill quickly. And it's going to be fun. So. Yeah,
and it could pay off. Like, though I will say, what was it? The Pitbull last year, the $20 one at 10 max entries. I think I had 5 Christian McCaffreys in that because I got 1, 2, or 3, and I got him the 3rd one time.
So that you were screwed.
Like,
so,
but I still advanced 6 of the teams. So I advanced like 2 Christian McCaffrey teams, 6 of the 10. But then I struggled in the playoffs because I was without Christian McCaffrey.
All right, so we're up. Did you want to get 2 lower on clicks? You have me on 21% mark MVS, but did you?
Yeah, let's slow that down. Let's do.
How many Steeler receivers do we have? Do we just have? Well, we're going around out of time.
Let's go Roman.
Yeah, there's no choice. Okay, yeah, no. So we just have. We didn't have Steelers receivers. I got confused because, and we didn't get Freiermuth either. So it's just tacking on Roman Wilson. He'll be low owned. And then I have 21% MVS. It's a fun click. And I when I wrote about it, I still think it's going to be low owned in these time box. So anybody else, I pulled up Restrepo. I think he's going to be super low owned.
Can you scroll down a little bit on?
So Calvin Austin, Tolbert, Coker, Wicks, Tutu, Royals, Franklin.
Tutu. We already, that's a game stack. I know we already have Adams, but for week 17 correlation, we're really game stacking that game. We had 2 Falcons. We could have 2 Rams. We could if that game goes off, I feel really good about our receivers, and I actually like Tutu. I think Tutu.
Obviously, we took two teams today. You sure you don't want to do Restrepo? He's going to be like next to no own, and we have Pollard.
No, I think the Rams are much better offense.
All right. I didn't pay attention to bye weeks. 5, 8, 5, 10. 10, 5, 8. So week 5 and 8 aren't going to be cute. 1, 2. Yeah,
week 5, we got 4 guys. We shouldn't have gone Rome, but oh well.
Oof. That's rough. So wait, we only have the 3 starters. Correct?
Yeah.
Usually we are bye-week psycho. We did not pay attention enough. And then week 8, we just have to. Oh, well, week 5, we should be able to have running back in the flex and all that. So we just need those 3 receivers to do something.
Yeah. No, and that is sometimes it's total team bye weeks because none of our running backs have that week bye. So we'll have all the options for the flex.
Oh, this is funny. Best Ball on Call says I entered SuperFlex Puppy slow, 5 a.m. Eastern. I'm trying to avoid the good rooms, and then I see Steve at the 10 hole. I quit. That's hysterical. That is absolutely hysterical. Okay, King Mike Rob, are you on Twitter? Always makes me laugh. Mike Rob is on Twitter. He's in the Pounders Discord, which obviously is linked on our Best Ball subscription. Where did Mike Rob had another good one-liner? Now I see why Who Hames is on my drafts. Dude is out here bum hunting. Yes, I don't remember it off the top of my head, but he is on Twitter. Who Hames late round click Damian Martinez is getting picked. That's I guess Who Hames one of his favorite late round clicks. Boy, if Seattle traded one of those guys, all 3 would be fun.
Oh, I know. And look, could happen. I mean, there are multiple teams out there who could use a running back.
Yeah, I know. Still, what is Dallas doing? Okay, let's quickly run through this. We ended 3-5-7-3. Same game, but we like it. Caleb Williams, Brock Purdy, then Matthew Stafford, running back a lot of Falcons. So Falcons, Rams. So 3 fun Week 17 game stacks and all these quarterbacks stacked up. Christian McCaffrey with Purdy, obviously, Travion Henderson, Tony Pollard, Tootin, Justice Hill, and then Drake London, Devontae Adams, DJ Moore, George Pickens, Darnell Mooney, Roman Wilson, Tutu Atwell. Week 8 is going to be gross at receiver, but other than that, I like it. Jake Ferguson, Mike Gesicki, and Mason Taylor since to Week 10. Usually we are bye week psycho. Didn't do well in the bye weeks today, but still had fun. Still like the team. What do you think?
Yeah, no, and there's plenty of Week 17 correlation, not just with those 2 games, but Travion Henderson and Mason Taylor, things like that. So,
yeah. But let's focus on the other people in this draft. We've got Omega King at the 2 spot 3-5-8-2. Oh, Hurts Barkley. I love doing that. We did it with McCaffrey Purdy. You're doing it with Hurts Barkley. Perfect. So 3-5-8-2, Hurts, Justin Fields, Daniel Jones. Love that. Barkley, Josh Jacobs, Hampton, Rashad White, Braylon Allen. Love that. Garrett Wilson, Jacoby Myers, Ricky Pearsall, Cooper Kupp, Rashid Shaheed, Thielen, Slayton, Demario Douglas. I love that because he's stacked up. I know multiple receivers, Garrett Wilson he stacked up Goddard in the running back and then Braylon Allen. Yeah, so stacked all 3 of his quarterbacks. Then did 8 receivers since he spread out the receivers a little bit, but I like it a lot. And then still has a strong tight end room going too with Kraft and Goddard. That like you had mentioned in that one draft where we could have done 2. Or no, we could have done 2 in this draft, but we had the same bye week. So I like this team a lot. What do you think, Steve?
No, I think it's really strong, and 1-3 quarterbacks, even with the premium, partly because they both had the same bye. So hopefully for Omega King's sake, Anthony Richardson is out by week 9, but no, I think he probably is. So that's how exceedingly strong quarterback room, running back strong, receivers strong up top, but really a depth. And then 2 good tight ends that I love Kraft. I love the price we're still getting on Goddard. He's on the Eagles. We know this now. And yet he's still, being avoided. And this is a guy who points per game last 3 years, he's just missed games, but he's been top 12 in points per game each of the last 3 years. So big fan.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Always enjoy drafting with you as well, Mega King. Let's check out Jason Calhoun's team really quick. So we have 2-5-8-3 May, Geno Smith, and then Harvey, Montgomery, Caleb Johnson, Jordan Mason, Jarquez Hunter. A lot of rookies in there, but super fun running back room. Nice mix of rookies and vets, like that a lot. Jefferson, Higgins, Terry McLaurin. Oh my God, those were my 3 top receivers in my BBM3 finals team. I just had a flashback. Very fun. I love that. Jameson Williams, who was on my Bulldog finals team. So I'm loving nostalgia on this team. Absolutely love it. Higgins, Kyle Williams, Alec Pierce, and Tesla, Njoku, Likely, Conklin. So this is a fun team too. Obviously he has May stacked up with Kyle Williams, and then Gino stacked up with, I thought he had Gino stacked up as well. Maybe not.
Yeah.
But no, I think the running back room is a really fun mix of rookies and vets, and obviously his receiver room is crazy. So yeah,
I like it. He did what we do a lot is weighted on quarterback and tight end. And May and Gino could be very fine. I mean, both you and I are both extremely high in May. I think he's going to be top 10, upside top 5 quarterback this year, and that kind of thing pays off. You're fine with too. But yeah, the running back room, very strong receiver just as well, both with vets, like you said, guys that you had on your team a couple years ago, and then high upside rookies like Higgins and Kyle Williams, etc.
Oh, very. Yeah, no, that was a really fun receiver room too, for sure. We appreciate all you guys in the chat, in the drafts, hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button. Again, check out the Best Ball subscription link below. We'll be here every Thursday night. I will be on tomorrow with Candyman at 9:30 Eastern for Friends of Best Ball. This has been fun. Steve, final thoughts before we get out of here?
Yeah, no, this is a really two very different drafts. One SuperFlex, one small field. But I like them both. And again, this is one thing Underdog does really well is mixing things up. And I do think SuperFlex is here to stay. And that's why we're going to provide more and more content for it as well, because the fact that they grew their SuperFlex Pug, not double it, not triple it, more than 4 times, I think shows they're intending to do a lot more SuperFlex. Absolutely. And yeah, we enjoyed drafting with you, Jason, as well. Great to see you. Thank you, Tim D. Super. I'm with you. I hope it keeps coming because I think it is definitely a fun one to play. So appreciate everybody. Thank you so much. Hit that like button on the way out. For Steve, I'm Meg, and we will see you next time.